He's in demand. We got Pat from INDIEPOWER. What's up?
How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. The inaugural, it's not dead yet. When you heard about this show, what did you think?
I thought there's a lot of old bands that are still alive.
There you go. It's not dead yet. There's still a pulse.
Yes, yes. Well, we were talking about that. I think that punk rock is dead in the mainstream, and that's okay because I never wanted to be in the mainstream anyway.
But bring it back to the underground.
But there's still a culture of fuck-ups and weirdos that are still out here, and we need to get together every now and then and celebrate that we're not dead.
It's like the family reunion out here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but these are the hallowed grounds where the US Festival happens.
Oh, really? Wow. That's.
You heard about the US
I
Festival?
have heard about the US Festival. Yeah.
300,000 people.
I wasn't here, obviously.
And it was before they had the seats and everything.
Yeah.
But Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, excavated this valley and brought in all the big bands.
Just to do the festival.
Just to do the festival.
Wow, that's awesome.
And because it was excavated, somebody figured out, well, might as well build some seats.
Yeah. Make it into a proper
make
venue.
It into a venue out here. And
yeah, awesome.
Kind of on the way to Vegas, you know?
Well, and that was obviously after Woodstock, where there was a lull in music and activism, and I think he was trying to put something together right before Live Aid and all that stuff that happened. So yeah, there's a history of saying, fuck you, we're going to do something here even if the rest of the world doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, if you build it, they shall come.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere, and people came in from all over the world.
Yeah.
I went through the parking lot, and there were license plates from all 50 states.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
But in the office right behind us at Live Aid, there's pictures of the grounds and the US Festival and commemorating the event.
Yeah,
you know,
that's brilliant.
So
we actually played
your history.
Yeah, we played a festival in Poland. There's this amazing festival in Poland. It's called Woodstock, and it's modeled on the original Woodstock in the U.S. And it's a free festival, and there's like 300,000 people that go. And you're just like, what a powerful thing that is to bring that many people around into one place about music. And if music can bring you in, you can be exposed to different ideas and different people and different cultures, and all those things are powerful for all of us to have a better life.
Yeah. Well, I know INDIEPOWER's always stood for something. What are some of the main things that you guys are really, excited about spreading the word on now?
Well, right now, the new record, we're talking about drones and how a drone strike is really just a suicide bomber, just a $1 billion suicide bomber instead of a guy with a vest on. It's you walk around your house, you think everything's fine, all of a sudden missiles come out of the sky. And that's exactly the same terrorist thing of going into your market and having some guy blow himself up. They're ideologically crazy people who think that blowing people up will make things better. And whether you're on the side of the West or the side of the East on those, you're still a menace to all of us.
Yeah, they're going to Mecca and they're going to take out as many people as they can.
Yeah, so we talk about drones being a cause for peace in the U.S., but they're seen as a terrorist weapon all over the world, and we need to start realizing that and stop people being able to do that, especially the American government.
Yeah, amazing stuff. What else? Because there's so much going on in the world. Why we sit here with, our rights and things we take for granted. There's a lot of trouble in the world.
Well, obviously we have Mr. Donald Trump, who is winning the election.
Trying to build a wall a few miles south of here.
Yeah, we have to realize that it was interesting to me. I'll go in a slightly different direction. We travel around a lot, and we take taxis and Uber and things like that a lot. And every taxi driver or Uber driver or person that we interact with is from somewhere else. And those people are the people who bring different ideas, better economy, and better lifestyle to wherever they are. And people like Donald Trump who want to keep immigrants out is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. It's building a wall and keeping out all the better ideas and all the different perspectives from us, which is a disaster. The only reason why any of us are successful is because we've gotten ideas from someone else and blended them into our own ideas. And if we stop
always
that,
been a melting pot.
It's been a melting pot, but even in our own worlds, if we all lived in our own little world and didn't have any different ideas come in, we would be boring, stupid people. And so if you take that onto a national level, we need to have as many people from other places allowed in to interact with us and to change our views and make us better. So any politician who says they want to keep out immigrants is the most stupid person, and don't ever vote for them. Always vote for the person who is inclusive, and adding more people is always better than reducing.
Seemed like a publicity stunt when he said he was running for office for his Apprentice show or something, and months later, he's got more support than anybody.
Well, the interesting thing is, obviously, Donald Trump is a horrible politician, but he's an amazing television star. And right now, what he's doing is being a media and television star. And and God bless him. I think he's more than welcome to say as many ridiculous things as he wants. But it's our job, the rational people of the world, to say that's bullshit and we don't support you. You can say it all you want, but it still gives us the right to say you're an asshole.
We all want change, but someone who's never run a state or a city can certainly not run the largest country in the world.
It's not the largest country in the world, but it's the biggest economy. And he's So Donald Trump is a mess. Please don't vote for him. Or Marco Rubio is a mess. All those guys are pretty scary. So that's going to come up in the next couple months. We'll all have to be making those decisions next November.
Amazing stuff. So what can people do, individually to, affect change?
Well, that was one of the things in our new record, American Spring. We wanted to, when we were young, every record we got had essays and articles and lyrics and mailing addresses of organizations that you could get involved in. And then in the last couple of years, we were like, well, the internet's here, we don't need to do all that anymore. And what we've realized is that just because it's out there doesn't mean people know how to find it. And so in the new record, American Spring, we devoted a lot of paper and digital area to saying these are organizations that you might be interested in, whether they're Amnesty International, whether they're PETA, because every generation there's a new group of young people who don't know that these organizations exist and don't know that they can get involved in building wells in Africa, or they can get involved by writing a letter for a political prisoner. And so those simple tasks are very valuable in changing people's lives. And when you realize that there's things that are bigger than yourself, you realize that you can change things. When you think that you're the biggest thing in the world, then there's no point in changing anything, and we can all just become apathetic and give up.
Well, that's the worst thing, is when people say, well, I can't change it by myself. Well, that's the wrong attitude, because 1 + 1 + 1 can end up being thousands.
There's one woman in Tahrir Square in Egypt who started that revolution and brought down Hosni Mubarak. So one person standing up and saying, I feel this way. And the reality is if you feel that way, there's millions of other people who feel that way. And they just need to have somebody say, I feel that way, and they say, oh, I feel that way as well. And then you have a movement.
Yeah.
And nothing changes without people. You can have all the policy, you can have all the money in the world, but you get 1 million people in an American city saying one thing, everybody's going to start curtailing to that vision.
Yeah. Well, I mean, punk rock's been around now like 40 years, and people thought, again, it wouldn't last, and it was this crazy weirdos at CBGBs or something. And we're strong. There's going to be 30,000 people out here today, and there's people that are listening to what you guys are talking about and realizing that there's power in numbers.
Yeah, and it's not what we're talking. It's not like we're leading anything.
Yeah, sure.
We're just saying what everybody else is thinking, and that's the reality of all social movements. It's people are feeling this way. They just haven't realized there's other people feeling this way as well.
Mobilize and just figure out what they can do to start.
When one person says, I feel this way, one person says that we shouldn't be shooting black people in the streets in the U.S. We shouldn't be killing two people every day in the States. The police should not be killing 2 people every day in the States.
Yeah.
When people say, oh yeah, you're right, I didn't know that was happening, and then that mobilizes a whole generation of people who are going to stand up and fight against police brutality and the excessive use of force. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I know you guys are like I say, going to put on a hell of a show today. I know there's a lot of old friends probably here. It's a big reunion. All the bands from the Warped Tour and everything coming together.
Yep.
What's your feeling as far as the hopes for the future of the music business, to be able to find a way to...
Hopefully the music business goes away.
Okay, but I mean...
That's the goal.
To help find a way for people that create it, that believe in giving people like you, an opportunity to at least make a living in what they love to do.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great if there was a government fund for musicians? And
I see Canada has
everything we
support.
created was given away for free.
Yeah.
Spotify was instead of this weird
Grants.
thing. Yeah.
You get a grant to make an album.
Yes. And you created it and you gave it away to the public for free.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a much better situation? Because none of us in bands want to write music for a small group of people. We want people to have access to it. And it may be offensive to them. They may not want it, but we want them to have the chance to not want it. Yeah. So I think if there was a new economy of artists being able to create music for free for all the people, whether you like it or not, and then they get enough to feed their families and have bread on the table.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Artists don't need to have a new Tesla, but they do need to have bread on their table so they can make more music. And when that happens, I think everybody wins.
Yeah. Well, certainly an interesting idea. There's a lot of people that have dedicated their lives to entertaining and educating those through music, and we hope there's a future for that.
Yeah. It's there's gonna be, the music industry is in the shitter. It's been in the shitter for 10 years, but that's fine with me. I was never wanted to be part of the music industry. We always believe that you create it yourself, and if people like it, great. If they don't, then you're not doing it right. So there's no reason for the music industry to be there.
Yeah. And in closing, what advice do you give to the young bands, the guys in the garage right now that would love to be doing what you do?
If you can do anything else with your life, do that. And if you are addicted to playing music and willing to sacrifice everything you love in life for music, then you should be in a band.
Get ready to sacrifice and dedicate.
Absolutely. And it's not because you want to, it's because you have to. It's definitely music, and playing music is an addiction. And you're willing to sacrifice all the other things that are good in your life to play music. And if you're willing to do that, you'll be successful.
Pat, we appreciate all you do. Can't wait to see Anti-Flag on stage today.
Brilliant. It's going to be awesome.